We'll just wait for a couple of minutes and then just start with the deadline stream. So, as I had mentioned in the team selection video, I wanted to do a wildcard team. So we'll do that today. We'll also take in any questions if you have. And lastly, we'll also just run down every team and make a watch list of players we should be considering for the coming game weeks. So there are two things here on the agenda. Number one will be the wild card. Number two will be shortlisting players. And once we are done with this, I'll also suggest on when we can actually take the chips. So I have mentioned the chip strategy in the team selection video, but I will just run that down again if you have missed those parts of the video. So coming to the wildcard team, let me just take out all the players. So De Gea stays because he has a double game week. Arsenal also have. I'll just do this for now. I will come back. So I actually have a lot of players you would actually consider for the double game week. So here we are. So De Gea will start in goal because he has a double game week coming up in game week 26, and you can see that the fixtures are decent till game week 27. So our backup keeper should be somebody who has better fixtures from game week 28. So let's have a look at that. And secondly, I think it's better to discuss the chips first. So game week 27 is when a lot of teams have actually I think are blanking. So a lot of smaller teams will be playing then. So I mean the fixtures aren't confirmed as yet. There might be some other fixture which can be added. Looks like Burnley will have a double game week in game week 26. So if you just see as things stand, there are no Liverpool games. There's no Arsenal game. There's no Chelsea game, and a lot of players actually have 3 players from Liverpool or at least 2 players from Arsenal. So it makes a good case to actually play the free hit. And even if you consider, say, Everton players, Everton's playing Man City, so that doesn't really count. Leeds is playing Spurs, so that again isn't a great transfer. So if you actually take the free hit here, you can target matches, something like a Southampton Norwich or a Brentford Newcastle or a Crystal Palace Burnley or a United Watford or even West Ham Wolves. So I would actually suggest that game week 27 should be the game week where you play the free hit. And secondly, the major rule for playing the wild card is that the following week after the wild card week must be a double game week. I mean, must be when you should use your bench boost. And the way things are, it looks like there will be a lot of double game weeks in the last 7 or 8 game weeks. So game week 33 right now looks like the best time to play the wild card, followed by game week 34 when you'll actually be using bench boost. So that's my strategy as far as wild card, bench boost and free hit is concerned. So now that we've covered chip strategy, let's just look at the wildcard team for this game week. So let's start with defense. We have De Gea in goal. United have a double game week, so we'll actually try and look for 3 United players. But for now, I only selected 2, which is De Gea and Ronaldo. Brighton again have a couple of game weeks, but they're playing Watford, which I think will be quite solid again under Roy Hodgson, and we saw that in the FA Cup game. So I don't think Watford will be as easy as it used to be uh, before this break. So that's one game where Brighton is playing Watford, and secondly, Brighton is playing, I think, Man City. One moment. Sorry, United. So again, that's not a favorable fixture, so it's absolutely okay even if you don't really select a Brighton player. But if you want to pick a player, I think McAllister must be the first name on the list. He has more attacking returns than Trossard. He's owned by only 0.7% of the managers. And look at these stats: six attacking returns, and that's after missing almost half the games. You can just have a look here. He's not played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games. He's not even started, and a lot of them have been cameos: 29 minutes, 18 minutes, 30 minutes, 12 minutes, 26 minutes, 14 minutes. So if you actually look at his recent stats, he's come off well. He even scored against Chelsea at home. So the stats are in his favor, and I think McAllister should be on your team if you want to really consider somebody from Brighton. So finishing off so first we'll just look after the main players, and then we'll fill in the other players. So I think Trent and Cancelo are must-haves. You can't really go past that. Same with Jared Bowen. I don't think you should be removing Jared Bowen come what may. He has great run. He has a great run of fixtures, and I think he's one of the contenders for even Player of the Season. So Jared Bowen goes nowhere. Kevin De Bruyne again, I think is a little. Uh, I mean, I don't think a lot of players own him, and I think it's good to pick Kevin De Bruyne now. And once Salah is back, which is next game week, you can actually ship him out without actually removing another player. So that's my strategy for selecting Kevin De Bruyne now. But to be really honest, I would try to fit in. I would like to fit in Kevin De Bruyne and Mohamed Salah and take out Diego Jota. So we can actually try that also. So let's see if that works. And we'll also select Andy Robertson because Liverpool have a double game week in game week 26 against the easiest teams in the league. So I mean, it's quite heavy right now. Let's see how we fill 1, 2, 3, 4 spots in 21 million. So another team which I think has great potential and is overlooked by a lot of managers is Brentford. Tony has been really good. He looks to trouble defenders all the time. He scored a record 31 goals in the championship last season. So he does present his case quite strongly. And if you look at these fixtures here: Newcastle, Norwich, Burnley, Leicester. So these are the leakiest teams in the league, and it's a good time to actually get somebody from Brentford here. Another team which I think you should consider is Southampton, who again have good fixtures starting game week. I think 27 if I'm not wrong. Yeah, 27. They play Norwich, Aston Villa, Leeds, Burnley, Watford. So again, I think this is a team which will be overlooked by a lot of managers, but you must keep an eye out on Southampton and sorry, I forgot the name of the team. Southampton and Brentford. And who are the players who you should pick from these teams? Has to be Broja. He's been terrific. He just looks like he's adapted to the Premier League so well. Look at that, 7 attacking returns in hardly any games for a mid-table team. So Broja, I think, is a must-have. He only costs 5.2, and you anyway have to fill your strikers. So he makes a great shout-out. And lastly, I think James Ward-Prowse would be a great pick. So we'll just go back to the team once and then see how that looks. See, Broja, James Ward-Prowse. I mean, you can even put Tony for now. I don't think the cash in the bank will be enough, but let's see. So is 3.2. So I mean, I think let's get Harry Kane also. I mean, once Ronaldo's done with his double game week, we'll actually be getting Harry Kane here. So anyway, without Ronaldo, we must fit in two more players. So it has to be a sacrifice between Salah and De Bruyne, and let's assume that only one of the two will play. So we can actually get a couple of Aston Villa players here who looked quite good. So I think Bundia is actually the one in form. A lot of players are selecting Coutinho and Ollie Watkins, but I think the real attacking threat from that team comes from Bundia. So he completes my team. To be really honest here, you can even remove Alistair and pick somebody of say the 4.4 range. So we'll actually do that here. I think Bundia doesn't have the best fixtures. Yeah, so once it's game week 29, you can actually remove him and get James Ward-Prowse instead. So we'll just pick Jacob Ramsey here. He costs nothing and is a great player at that price. So Jacob Ramsey is here, and you can also take Matty Cash or Luca Digne. But again, you will not be using 5 defenders. It will be 4 at best. So it doesn't really matter who you use. You can just auto pick here. And we'll just look for a good keeper here. From game week 28, I think Wolves are the team which have good fixtures. Yeah, so if you just look here from game week 28 onwards, Wolves have great fixtures. But as you can see in this team, we can even afford Edison, so we would just select him. And as far as defense is concerned, we can select one of the Southampton or Brentford defenders just to fill in our team. So let's do that. Or let's pick one of the right backs at Southampton, maybe Livramento or Kyle Walker-Peters. Okay. So here we are with the team. We have 1 million in the bank. I have a few more players who I think we can pick. I'll just tell you one moment. So before we get to the wildcard, we have a few questions. Azim Khan says he's selling Alonso for Luca Digne this week. Absolutely, man. It's a must to sell all your Chelsea players. So it makes absolute sense to remove Alonso. Abhishek DCL is in. He will start the game this weekend. And you also said that you're planning for Edouard for King and Bundia for Trossard. I think that will be a great move. You must do those moves. So coming to the wildcard selection, there are a few other players who I wanted to consider. So instead of Ronaldo here, you can even take, this is a no-brainer for now. But yeah, this team actually looks quite good, to be honest. I am quite happy with this team. Once Salah is back, you can take out De Bruyne. And once Ronaldo is done with his double game week, you can get in Harry Kane. So your strongest team will actually be Harry Kane and Mohamed Salah and this mix of players. Ivan Abu Bakr says he has Rafinha on my bench. Should I sub out Martinelli or Bowen? I think you should sub out Martinelli because Wolves are a solid defense, and secondly, Rafinha is an absolute firecracker. He can score against any team, against any moment, so he must start for your team if you have him. So we have five people who've signed into the live video right now. I just want to say hi to all of you. We were just drafting the wildcard team, and as you can see on the screen, this will be my wildcard team if I were to make one. I've already discussed when to play your chips in my team selection video. So if you've missed the live video, you can actually go back and see it in the team selection video on this channel. So if you have any questions, you feel free to put them in the live chat, and I will personally look into the team and try and make it better based on my understanding. So another team which sorry, audio, can't you hear me, guys? Can you hear me? I think my audio is on, Nanthusan. If you have any questions, you can just put it on the chat, and okay. So FG says, what do you think of Tottenham assets? I have Son and Regular in my team. So I think it's a great. Let me get to the Spurs players. So Son is just coming back from an injury, and I don't think it's the best time to start him directly. But having said that, I think Son is a must-have in your team if you're looking for Spurs assets. Reguilon is good, but again, I'm not really sure of how Spurs will play right now. So if I were to pick one player from Spurs, it will be Harry Kane. I don't know. I think I read somewhere that Reguilon might be out with the knocks. I'm not really sure, but otherwise, if there's one defender you need to pick from this team, it has to be Reguilon. There's no two ways about it. And if you have somebody better, start them. But if you don't, I think Son and Reguilon should be decent. They have really good fixtures in Southampton and Wolves, and they've been playing quite well again under Conte. Another team which I think is not really considered by a lot of players is Burnley. They might have a couple of game weeks in game week 27 when all the main teams will be blanking. So I think they play Tottenham and Crystal Palace. Okay, so somebody has said why not Ramsdale instead of Edison. Sorry, I'll just come back. I think I'm going to prioritize questions before the strategy. So feel free to ask your questions and I will answer them all. So FG says why not Ramsdale instead of Edison. So I mean clearly because City is the best team in the league and we had the money to do that. Otherwise, I do have an Arsenal defender, and if you see here that game week 27 is a blank, but regardless, it's the decision is more of having the best defense in the league, and there's nobody better than City at the moment. So that's the only reason. But apart from that, Arsenal are good at the back. I have Tierney here, so having Ramsdale is a good move too. I don't think you should worry about that. If you haven't really played your wildcard, I would suggest against playing your wildcard. I'm not I'm not a fan of actually playing the wildcard right now because most players are common in most teams, and I don't see any must-have player who is going to outperform players who are already existent in most teams. So why did I take out Jota? So I could have only three Liverpool players, and because of Diaz, Firmino, Mane back, I'm sure Diego Jota's minutes will be limited. So I wanted to select Mohamed Salah, who will be my first pick from Liverpool. Second will be Trent, and Robertson has been great at the back, so he will be my third pick. So that's the reason I took out Jota and Al-Hussein. Azim says, Kufal, Lucadinha, Gray, Dennis and Martinelli start any three. So Lucadinha starts for sure. Damari Gray starts for sure. And I think Sufal starts for sure. Those will be my three picks, your first three players. Watford can't be trusted. I mean, they both the strikers blanked in their double game week, so that's the reason I wouldn't go with Dennis. And Martinelli, I don't know if he'll actually start. Even if he does, it's against Wolves, who are a solid defense. So I would go for Sufal, Lucadini, and Gray. Why Tony and not Edward? So this is to set up for game week 27 onwards. So that's what I was just mentioning. Otherwise, Edward is a must-have in your team. He plays Norwich and Leeds, if I'm not wrong. So let me just show that. So we will select Edward right now, but we will move that to Tony later. Should I start King or Gordon? Oh, that's a tough one, man. I personally am miffed with Watford players, so I would start Gordon and take a chance. But I think, to be honest, I think Joshua King's better. He will start, he will be leading the line, and West Ham haven't been as good at the back. So I'm sorry for saying Gordon, but no, I will be selecting Joshua King between the two. So we have nine people watching the live chat right now. If you have any questions, please feel free to put it in the live chat, and I will answer them all in the video on the screen, as you can see. Another thing I wanted to mention was that I think that game week 27 is a little overrated. Sorry, game week 26. So apart from, I think, is that game week 27? Sorry, game week 26. I think it's a little overrated because not a lot of teams have good fixtures. Yes, Liverpool has amazing fixtures in Norwich and Leeds. Norwich and, one moment. Norwich and Leeds. Arsenal has good fixtures in Wolves and Brentford. But that's about it. I don't see any major teams having good double game weeks. So, like, if you actually take a Leeds team, Leeds is playing United and Liverpool, so that doesn't really make sense. So that's what I would think. And even Wolves actually has Leicester at home and Arsenal away. So I don't think you can actually pick a Wolves attacker or a defender. So the teams to target here are only Arsenal and Liverpool and no other team. Watford does have its case of playing Crystal Palace and Aston Villa, but Watford can't be trusted, man. I mean, we don't know how they'll play under the new manager, but going historically, they will be better at the back. So, if you want to go for a Watford defender, that is suggested. So, FG says Robertson and Salah might be benched against Leeds as they have the cup final. So, like I said, this is not the team. So we are building the wildcard team. Right now, Kevin De Bruyne starts. I will not be starting Mohamed Salah because he's just played 4 120-minute games. So there's no reason why De Bruyne won't be in the team. And coming to Robertson, sorry, I do not know if he'll be benched for this game week. But I think it's better to just go to my present team. So this is my present team right now. And Kevin De Bruyne is my captain. So in here I'm looking to remove Dennis and get in Edward. So that's my transfer for this game week. So if you had any doubts regarding me actually selecting Salah, that wasn't happening. We were just building the team for future game weeks. So Dinesh Pamnani asked me if do I do Bernardo Silva to KDB or Dennis to Edward for -4. Oh, tough one. I think Bernardo to KDB would be the one I would suggest. But I think even -8 isn't too bad because Edward is playing Norwich and the next game week is against Leeds, if I'm not wrong. So if you just look at the fixtures here. Sorry, Brentford. Brentford are the second worst defense form-wise after Leicester. Leicester conceded 4 goals even in the FA Cup game versus a championship team. So always select players playing against Leicester, and Brentford is again it's the same logic applies to Brentford. So that's the reason I think -8 isn't too bad either. So FG asked me if I am not using my wildcard. No, FG, I will not be using my wildcard. I will probably use my wildcard around game week 33, not anytime soon. I'm going to play my free hit in game week 27, and triple captain in game week 26 and free hit in game week 27. So that's my strategy right now. If there's any change, I will let you all know on my Instagram handle as well as my Twitter. Bruno or De Bruyne? No, man. Burnley, I think, is the last team in the league. So, and Bruno has a double game week in game week 25. So, I wouldn't move Bruno De Bruyne if I already have him. But if you can remove another midfielder, you can try and get Foden in place. So let me just make my transfer in the meanwhile. So I will be removing Dennis, and I will be getting in Edward. So here we go. Let's just make save the team. So this will be my team for the coming game week. De Gea starts at the back, Trent, Cancelo, Tierney, Maguire, with Bowen, Jota and De Bruyne in the midfield, and Edward, Ronaldo and DCL up in my attack. I'm quite happy with my team, and I hope I get a good arrow. Let me just show you all how my season has gone so far. So it's actually world rank number 9 here, and this is the game week where I made Kai Havertz captain when Chelsea scored 7 goals and he didn't even return an attacking point. And Salah scored 2 goals. Foden scored 2 goals. Salah scored 2 goals against United. So, and being a United fan, not only was it emotional, but Ole used to do well against the big teams. So, these 2 game weeks were quite bad for me, from World 9 to 14k. I did have a lot of green arrows, went up till 1908, and these last minute COVID cases, and I mean this year in FPL has been extremely challenging. So here we are at 12k, but my goal this year is to finish in the top 1000. So let's hope we get there. Also, I would just would like to tell all of you that I will be closing the live stream in 15 minutes. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask me in the live chat. I'm actually joining FPL expectations on a stream. So I mean we follow each other on Twitter, and Craig will be my host, and we will be discussing the same things there again: the transfer plans, my existing team, and the chip strategy. So if you think you will miss out here, please feel free to join there. I will mention that on my Instagram and my Twitter also. And if you haven't joined the FPL Daddy League yet, please do. The league code and the link is mentioned in the bio of this specific video. So please feel free to join join the FPL Daddy League. So I see 7 managers who are live right now. Please feel free to ask your questions. I'm just seeing if there's any question I haven't answered. So I think I've answered all of them. So this will be my team for game week 24. PC, hi PC, Bruno or CR7. If I were to pick one, I would pick Bruno because Pogba is back, and because of Pogba being back, Bruno has had a lot of freedom up front. So I would actually select Bruno. But after the double game week, I would move Bruno to Mohamed Salah and triple captain him in game week 26. But if you want to play Salah and Ronaldo, then you can't play Bruno. But I would suggest to actually have the combination of Mohamed Salah and Harry Kane because United is unreliable and they haven't been anywhere close to how good they actually are. So if I were to choose for this specific game week, it would be Kevin De Bruyne. But if you have Bruno, I wouldn't remove him and I wouldn't even get CR7. Also, guys who've just signed into this live stream, I have a team selection video which I released earlier this day, and I've mentioned the chip strategies and the possible transfers in my team. So please feel free to actually go through that video. Davesh Budhu says Salah is back. Would you swap KDB for him? I know Salah is back, but I don't think he'll start and play 90 minutes. He's just played 4 120-minute games in a span of I think 10 or 11 days. So Salah will walk into the team, but I think I will be making that move after game week 25 when Liverpool have their double game week. But until then, I will be playing Jota in my team. And I will not be swapping KDB for him unless game week 26 they wish. I'm also quite excited to see how Everton will do. They did well. They scored 4 goals in the FA Cup game, and I think that was against Brentford, a Premier League team, not even a Championship side. So I'm quite excited to see how Everton will do. I wanted to remove Calvert-Lewin and get Ollie Watkins in here, but I think I will just give this another game week. So for the next game week, I will actually be okay. So PC says I need to start a cheap player. Is Dallo or Ramsey a better option? Oh, I think Jacob Ramsey is the better option. Would you consider Pogba, Richarlison, and Rashford as good options? Pogba, no, but the other two definitely. Richarlison is the one who looks the most hungry on the ground right now. So I would actually back him to do well. If I were to pick an Everton striker today, I would pick him over DCL for sure. And Rashford is a good option. Greenwood is out. Sancho is injured. So I expect Rashford to start all games. He's not as expensive as Ronaldo or a Bruno. So Richarlison and Rashford are great differential picks. Make no doubt about that. The only thing here is that United is a little unreliable. So I hope they come back in form. But as far as game time is concerned, Rashford I think will start all games right now after the whole Mason Greenwood episode. PC says, should I start Martinelli? So can you just mention your team? I can't really tell you if you should start him without having a look at your team. So please go ahead and mention your team in the comments, and I will tell you if Martinelli should start or not. PC, are you there? Okay, start De Gea here. Oh, I believe the slow mode is on. That's the reason there is a delay. No worries. I'll wait for you, PC. If anybody else has any questions, please feel free to type it in the live chat box. I will be more than happy to answer them. Trent, Cancelo, Robert, Dina, Dalo. Wow. I think you should start all of them. We're just waiting for PC to type in his midfield and attack, guys. He wanted a suggestion if he should start Martinelli. So let's just have a look at the entire team and then make a call together. Who have you selected in your team as the captain? Do let me know in the comments below. So Jota, I mean, are you serious? Could you actually afford all these players? Jota, Bowen and KDB should be the first names without a doubt. I don't think you should start Martinelli here. Wolves is a good team at the back. And you actually have 5 defenders, so that makes this a 4-man midfield, which means you can only start one attacker. So who will that be? This is actually a tough place to be in. I don't really know if you could actually afford this team, to be really honest, but if you did, I would. If I had this team, I would leave out Martinelli, Geralt, and CR7. Okay, great. KDB is my captain too. Hope he actually does well. So guys, this it'll be the last 5 minutes for this deadline stream. As I mentioned that I will be joining Craig, who has a Twitter handle on. Let me just tell you the Twitter handle at the moment. One moment. I will be joining them on a call where we will be discussing this chip strategy and transfers and who the captain should be in the coming weeks. If you want to actually watch that, FPL Expectations is the name of the handle on Twitter. FPL Expectations, and it will be me and also Craig who will be speaking about the specific game weeks and the plans to follow. PC says thanks for the advice, mate. Oh, you're most welcome, PC. I'd be happy if you could spread the word regarding this channel. I just started this year when I was doing well in my league, and when I actually saw that I was world number 9, I thought starting the channel would not only help me but would also motivate me and keep me uh, updated with whatever's happening. My lot AFF says, good evening, my friend. Good evening, man. So these are the ranks for people who are joining in right now. And you can see here that I was world 9. Nantusan. Yeah, that's good, man. You can go for De Bruyne this week and get back to Bruno for the double since you have Ronaldo already. That's a good move. Would you? Uh, I just removed Dennis and changed that to Edward my lot F. I just did that. That's literally the transfer I made in my team this game week. So guys, another 3 minutes and I will be off. So please feel free to ask your questions in the chat. You can in the chat below. And if you like my content, I would like you to spread the word among your friends. You can follow my handle on Twitter, on Instagram. It's FPL Daddy across all mediums. So is Coutinho worth considering? Oh, definitely, definitely. But I don't know if a lot of I don't think midfield is actually the problem in FPL this year. It's the forwards where you don't really have good value. So people like Jared Bowen have actually stepped up and make it hard to select somebody else within that same price range. But yes, Coutinho is a great shout out. But I personally would select Bundia over Coutinho because in the highlights, Bundia seemed more electric and hungry. Sumit, what do I do with Jota? Keep him for now. Uh, keep him till Sane is fully back and then remove him because Liverpool has good fixtures and I think you must keep Jota for now and then move it to Salah once Salah's back. Yes, I did change Dennis to Edward. You can even go back on in this video and have a look. But yeah, that was the transfer I made this game week, and I had in fact King was my sorry Dennis was my captain, and he gave me a big -2, which really fucked my rank up. But otherwise, for this game week, I've removed Dennis and gotten Edward. Captain option for this game week: number 1 option Kevin De Bruyne, number 2 option Diego Jota, number 3 option Harry Kane. So guys, as I said, I will have to go now. I will be joining Craig for this talk on this game week and the strategies to use for the coming game weeks. So please feel free to write to me on Twitter or Instagram and I will revert. As I need to go, I thank all of you for actually signing in to FPL Daddy. Thank you. And I hope all of you do well in FPL this specific game week.